This looks already pretty nice, but are there perhaps ways to make this a little more fancy, perhaps even more functional for a junk journal? I don't know, but we will find that out together in this video. Hi, this is Luise Heinzl, and I'm just working on this little idea here, which is like a combination of a banner and a page tab and some die-cut elements. And I thought I'd turn on the camera because I know you. If I would do this off camera, then later on there would be hundreds of people who ask me how I did this. So let's do this together. This is part of my Raggedy Turtle Bloom series, which I'm running here at the moment on my channel. If you've never heard about that, or if you are here by coincidence, if this is your first video or whatever has brought you to this video, then there's a playlist linked below the video where you can find all of the other videos of this series. The Raggedy Turtle Bloom paper collection you can find in my shop. There's junk journal pages and an ephemera pack as well. And there's also a whole kit, which is the pages and the ephemera pack in one item. You can also find that linked down below this video. And yeah, here are even some more things I just see, which I could share with you. That is just the tiniest detail, but these splatters here are a little translucent, and I'm just realizing that that fits really, really well to this turtle theme. You know, I like white splatters, and when I look at this, I'm really happy that I have put so much water into my white acrylic paint, because that way they came out really translucent, and especially here around the turtle, or yeah, in front of the turtle, it looks like somehow water bubbles or so. I really like that. Perhaps we can do that on one of the other pages as well, but that is something we need to do in the very end. So what are we going to need for this idea? I have my pages I want to put into my journal here already, and some of them we can't use. Let's start with that. Perhaps you have seen the other video where I made these flowers here. Why is here everything upside down? I have no idea. For example, this would be a good example. We made this in the last video. And here I have already something which is pretty thick, not only the acrylic paint, but also this flower, which is on the edge of my page. So I can't use that. We need a page where we can close the page. Wait, if you have the big shot machine where this size of paper fits in, meaning DIN A5, then you would need to fold the paper, obviously. If you have, for example, the switch machine or so, which can handle DIN A4, then you don't have to pay attention to what is on this page here. And if it's too thick, then you can just see, okay, here is nothing, and I can run it through the machine. That would be no problem, because we will not run it through completely, but you will see in a second what I mean. Please make sure that when you have these pages, that you look where you have elements already which are a little bit bulky, and that you then just choose another page, yeah, so that we can run it through the die-cut machine pretty easily. The page I have printed to this side of the paper is from the Raggedy Turtle Bloom collection, and here on the other side I have printed one of my butterfly flowers background papers. You can't see any butterfly flowers here, but the paper collection is called Butterfly Flowers, and these are the background pages. That's why here are no butterflies here, but it belongs to the other paper collection. I will link that down below for you as well. So then what we are going to need next is something which we want to put on here. I had already prepared this, and I think, oh yes, look, that would work really well here. Okay, so I show you how I made that in a second. Let's see if we can do something similar here on the back. These banners come from the Raggedy Turtle Bloom collection as well. It's from the ephemera pack, but obviously you could also take a piece of paper and then cut your own banner. Perhaps we could, let's do that, because this is a little bit too matchy for my taste. Let's take this. So I will just cut in here without any measuring. If you have a punch, which can punch a triangle, that it's really wonky, but that's okay. It fits the style of this journal. Perhaps like this, and then we could even think about something like this. And then we just glue this on here. Let's start with this side and let's decide how we want to cut. Then I'm going to choose a die cut. I have chosen this little flower here, which comes from this set here. This is called Funky Floral Wreath. The number is 666563. Then I place my die cut here where I wanted to cut. And I let that go under the banner a little bit. Is that important? No, but I want it like that. So then, oh, sorry, then we can take this off because we just needed that as a guideline where to cut. So then we cut this. And yes, we have now cut through both pages, but we don't freak our freak. We just trust that it's nice on the other side as well. Then we take this again, put this approximately here where it was before so that we can see where to cut here, because I want to cut another shape from here. So then, when we have that, we can place it here again. And I thought, what if we now think about cutting somewhere in the middle of the page, because I think it could look really nice if here was a third flower.
You sat alone where restless waves stamp secrets in the silent sand, like a quiet turtle tucked inside a shell the world can't understand. Your eyes held the horizon, longing for a place to dream. All the hurt you pressed between pages, behind a gentle emerald sheen. I wandered down the shoreline, pockets full of gathered years, like a quiet turtle scared to let love tide drown all my tears. But when our shadows touched that dusk in golden trembling light, we peeked out from our hiding place. The whole sea paused that night. We are Raggedy Turtle Bloom. Ooh, shipwrecked souls.
Okay, that's good. Let's go on. So then this is supposed to go here. And I also want to include a page tab. So I have some here in different shapes. So I think we could go with this. This I've also cut out from a piece of ideology paper, and I've used a punch, but you know, there are also ways to do that by hand, but if you have a punch, make your life easy and just use the punch, okay? I just glued this down first, and I will only glue it here on the top. Oh, and by the way, I had this here from my ephemera pack, and originally the backside was white. And I have put a little bit of my rust water and coffee mixture to the back to make sure that this is not white anymore. And I'm just thinking, let me quickly take out a stamp, because I think we will see, where's my ink pad? We will see a little bit of this here and there on the other side. Okay, this is Ledger Script CMS 241 by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. And then I'm going to take the page tab and I put the glue first only here to this little edge. And then we can decide what we want to put here to make the holes closed and that this looks nice. And I think a good thing would be another paper which is printed from both sides. So for example, another, oh, this is too small, another ideology paper or so. What about this blue one? Oh, I like that. We can turn this around and this also looks nice. And then we can decide how big we want to have this here and which shape this shall get here. We could make a second banner piece here. Like, let's take this as an example. For example, cover this up with the paper and then add the other banner here, so that we then have a nice arrangement here. Looks great. But what I don't like so much is when you imagine that this is in the journal later and you flip through the journal, then you would have a banner here and a banner here. We could also tear it into a weird shape and then make a tuck spot, or we could make it into a pocket. I'm going to take my mat here so that I can put that on here to make sure that these small pieces are really glued down later. It would totally bother me if that would come up. Why haven't I inked the edges of this piece? Oh no. Oh, sometimes I'm such an idiot. And since we have these flowers here from the die cutting, I thought we could perhaps take these and use them to decorate this area there a little bit.
Oh, moving slow with the weathered shells, but now we journey on and on and on. Every page we stitch together, every shell we leave behind. In a world that rushes past us, I found your hand in mine. No storm will ever break apart the bond we made from ruins. We are Raggedy Turtle Bloom.
And I'm just realizing, why did I stamp to the back of this? Why? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. That was obviously totally unnecessary. So then we can take this and shall we perhaps, I think I want to put some of these snippets under the tab. When we have that, we can just put some glue here and glue the rest of the page tab down. So then we have a nice little pocket here where we can then decide for a tag or something similar. These are not finished yet, but I just wanted to show you some options how you could then fill this pocket. Could be, for example, like so then. But this is just an example. I will take them out. Also because this glue is probably not dry yet, and if I leave them in there, it could happen that they stick to the pocket, and obviously I don't want that. So then we have this here, and here I think I want to add one of my layered flowers. There's a video available how we made these as well. Not exactly these, because I made this, I have some here off camera, but the idea is the same. So I will link that video down below for you as well. It's to be honest, it's 2 videos. In in the first video, I tried out a really efficient way of coloring these layers, and in the second video, I then made the layering of the flowers. So if you're interested in that, check out the description box. But since we've been stupid and stamped to the other side of the banner, and that makes that we have this stamp here. Did I just say we've been stupid? Obviously only I was stupid. And you've probably already screamed to the screen that it's absolutely stupid what I am doing. We now go on with this because we've already decided that we want to have this on this page. And now the challenge is that this could probably not fit anymore, because remember, we made this in the very beginning and then we cut I'm sorry, through this page. Oh, I'm so sorry, what's going on with my throat? Sorry. And when we have cut through this, we couldn't determine where these would be because they are there where they are. Do you know what I mean? So it could be that this is now too big. Could you make this after cutting through the page? Yes. I just realized that probably would have been way easier than doing it like we did it, because, you know, then you can see what's going on there. But I couldn't see that coming. I'm sorry. Because this is, you know, I'm trying to share my process here with you and how I make these things. And yeah, this is what also would happen off camera. So this is my reality. Probably not the best way to do it, but problem solved. And obviously, if you would make this thing here now, you could measure and see how big this could be, and then you wouldn't have to cut it down like I just did, but this also works. So now I'm trying to have parts of these 3 flowers peeking out there. And I'm just seeing this design here on the printable screams to add some of these snippets. This would work. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's take this one. That's great. So then what shall we put to the other side? I thought what also could be an idea is to take something like this, where we have like a little cluster or so. I mean, what is this flower? It's nothing else than a cluster. And some longer strips. This is white, I know, but we could change that. Ooh, and even, holy moly, guacamole. Whoa, I didn't expect that I would like it so much with just the white, but that would make obviously sense, because if I add white splatters in the end, like I did here, that would look really, really cool. It's probably a little bit too white, because the white in the paper is not completely white, and also the splatters will not turn out completely white, but the solution is called Lost Shadow. So let's just take a little bit of that. If we put this here, it would be big enough to cover these. We have this here showing through from the banner, from the backside of that paper. this would work here. Oh, and look, it looks good on the other side as well. So let's take that and glue that down, and that makes that this little slot there is shut, which obviously came because this white paper is not as long as it would need to be to overlap. Okay, so then this looks already pretty good. We only have this little problem here left. And we have white here. So I think the best way to solve that problem would be to put something over here, which then is nice from the back side, so that this is then also nice. But look, ooh, let's think about that. We have white here and white here, so it would probably be good if here was a third white flower. I need another page to imagine how that would look. If here was something else, then we would only see this. Not really. It's probably because a third flower is missing. But that's not a problem. Let's look if I really like this. If this is nice from here. Yeah, that is good. I don't like this here behind this, but I think that's only my freak who's close to freaking out. If I take this and put that under here and under there, then I can cover it. And I'm just realizing I'm covering my stamping again. What the heck? Shall I title this video "How to Cover Your Stamping"? Why stamping is totally unnecessary? Oh my goodness, no, I don't want to have a clickbait title like that. But it would be the truth. I mean, you can learn here how unnecessary this stamping was. Let's try the thing with the stamping again, okay? Let's take this and stamp here, hoping that it will be still visible in a few seconds when I have glued this down. I'm just realizing I have glued it not like I originally had it there. I will put this little thing into this little weird thing here, because I don't like this round edge in combination with this straight edge of the banner. Okay, and since we have something oval here and something round there, why don't we think about setting an eyelet here? Oh my goodness, I bought the wrong eyelets. And it's always so hard to get these through here, but I want to use them up. It's a little bit difficult. Hopefully this will work now. Oh yes, I'm a lucky girl. Oh my goodness, thank you God. Here, look. I really like how that turned out. It's a little bit wonky here, but I think it fits nice to the style of this, because this journal is really, you know, raggedy. And because of that, I think that fits well. So then, last but not least, I want to add some white splatters and also perhaps a little quote here and there. Where is my paint? That was coincidence that I did it here like I did it, and that it came out like it came out, because I realized that my mixture of white acrylic paint and water is nearly empty here in the jar, and I had just the tiniest little bit left. And then I have spritzed some water in here because I thought I can use the rest. I was just too lazy to, you know, put paint in here for just the splatters on the other page. I wanted to add even more water to get it even more translucent, because I think that fits really, really well to this paper when the splatters are translucent. That is just cool. I don't have the feeling that the splatters are covering this now. It's just a detail which adds to this print. Unfortunately here, oh no, here it is a little bit too opaque. Can you see? Oh no, this is directly on the turtle's eye. I think I have to think about something, how to solve that problem, because I don't like that. But here we have this. Why is it here so translucent and there not? I mean, here, look, where it's on the head of the turtle, we can still see the print through it. Also here, but not here. Can we use that as something? Like a design element? I have these quotes here. They are part of the ephemera pack of the Raggedy Turtle Bloom collection. And these are, on the one hand, the lyrics of the soundtrack for this paper collection. And on the other hand, parts of the lyrics which make sense as quotes. Don't ask, please, don't ask how long it took me to make these 3 pages. So please be kind and just love these quotes, okay? It was such a disaster. You can't imagine how long this took me. To be very clear, I needed to do this twice, because the first thing I did couldn't be exported from my computer, and then suddenly the letters were so thin that you couldn't read them anymore. It has driven me crazy, so I'm more than happy that I can use these here now. Here, when we stopped the urge to hide, that is what I was searching for, because I thought, since this is, where are my scissors? Since the head of the turtle does look so nice, why don't we take this, which fits perfectly to this situation, because this is just the moment when we stop the urge to hide. Yes, it will be hidden behind this, but you know, it's like, for me, it's like a symbol. Can we perhaps add more of these quotes so that only the body of the turtle is visible? Because that would be a nice shape. Impossible and wondrous when we stop the urge to hide. And let's take this here as well. Loving you was learning how to breathe beneath the tide. Let's just do it like it is in the song. So on these sheets here with these quotes, you can find the order in which, you can find these quotes in the order they are in the song as well. And on the other side here on the right, it's a little bit crisscross because I've taken just portions of the lyrics which made sense as a quote. For example, the first line of the song is, "You sat alone where restless waves stamp secrets in the silent sand." And that is the full line of the song. And here I've taken "where restless waves stamp secrets in the silent sand" and "you sat alone" as two separate quotes, because I think that, you know, that can make sense on a page. And if you want to know more about the wonderful person who has sang the song, I can tell you it's no one else than my wonderful friend Daniel Evans. And if you have already followed this series, you know how excited I am and how honored I feel that he did that. I was so nervous when I asked him if he would like to do that, and when he then finally said yes, I was in a really, you know, like out of control situation in my life. So if you like the song and if you like his voice, then please check out his YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so on. You can also find him on all of the streaming platforms. I will link everything down below for you so that you can find him. And if you like what he does, then please give him a follow. And I would be really interested in your opinion about this idea, taking the lyrics of the song and turning those into quotes. Because when I came to that idea, to be honest, I was a little bit proud. I mean, it's a simple idea. Because when you have a song, why don't you take the lyrics and glue them into the journal? Yeah, that is like really close. But when I came to that idea, I was a little bit very proud, because I love this, to have that here. And I thought it's perhaps also something a little different than we already have in the junk journal world. And that's why I did that. And I would be really interested in how you find that, because, I mean, obviously these lyrics are pretty close to my heart. I don't know if you can imagine how that is when you sit there and you write your own lyrics for a song, and then later on, when the song is finished and someone really has put his voice to the thing, then it's like something is coming to life suddenly. Even if you made thoughts about the lyrics beforehand, but obviously when you write them, then you can't hear them. And when you then can listen to them for the first time, and especially with Daniel's voice, that is for me so crazy, that this suddenly is not just a song anymore, but it's something that brings a lot of emotion and something that lives. And especially for this journal, that was really important for me to have something like that. And I'm really hoping that we can bring some of that, what is behind this, to you as well. Is this now in the right order? Loving you was learning how to breathe beneath the tide, impossible and wondrous when we stop the urge to hide. Yeah. And now, for my feeling, this is cool. And this is now like a background, and I don't have the feeling that the turtle is like pressed under these words. Perhaps you want to let me know how you see that in the comments. I think this looks really nice. We are not what they all expected, but I'm so glad that I've got you. Oh, when I say this sentence, oh my goodness, I want to cry. Because that was a portion of the lyrics which Daniel has changed when I sent the lyrics to him, and I said, here, that's it, do it, please do it. I'm just kidding. Then he has sent it, I mean, you know, the first version he did, he has sent that back to me and said, here, look, or listen to it. What do you think about it? Do you like it? And then when I listened to it for the first time, I remember that like it was yesterday. It was such a wonderful moment to hear that for the first time. And then when he sang this, I realized that he has changed the lyrics a little bit. And I started to cry immediately when I heard that, because in this portion of the lyrics, I had some struggling. And I was like, okay, yeah, my English is my English, you know, English is not my mother tongue, and I have written this in English. That is a lot of struggling for me, only because of the language. But when you then want to have something like a nice song text, you can come into trouble not only because of the language, but also because, you know, the words don't fit so well. And he has turned this into something just amazing, because this, we are not what they all expected, but I'm so glad that I've got you, is it's just it. He also changed this, so this is, you know, next to each other in the song. The gentlest touch can turn a shattered shell into a home for two. He has changed this as well, and then this, and now this is, it's just perfect.
The gentlest touch can turn a shattered shell into home for two. We're not what they all expected, but I'm so glad that I've got you. We are Raggedy Turtle Bloom. Ooh.
I'm really hoping that I don't wreck your nerves with this, like, behind the scenes information about these details about the lyrics, but when I make a paper collection, it's not just paper for me. And with these videos, I also want to share some of that behind the scenes information with you, because I think that makes it a little more special when you also know some details about this came to life. Because when you put that in your journal, then it's there, you know, then it's a part of your life somehow as well. And perhaps you then want to know a little bit of the background information as well. These snippets are really dangerous because they can make that your day is over before you even notice it. Because when you have something like this and snippets next to you, then it can happen that you think, oh, little snippet here, little snippet there, let's glue this down here, let's glue that down there, and suddenly the day is over, and you haven't even realized that. But I really am into these little details. I think that makes really a big difference. Okay, here I would say these brown ones would fit even better to this page than the lighter ones. Yeah, definitely. I think I like open to the rain and let it heal. Somehow this and how the splatters came out on this page, this totally reminds me to rain. Here we have a pretty empty space. And I made some of these in a bigger scale. I wanted down the shoreline, pockets full of gathered years. This is obviously pretty long. And I like this picture, pockets full of gathered years. Pockets, you know, junk journal, pockets. Can we perhaps take a transparency? This is just a leftover from something else. No. It needs to be something completely translucent. I don't like the orange here because here's the red. So let's just take something from the trash can. This is just a packaging of something, I don't even remember. Can I sew through here? Oh yes, I can. Okay, so then let's do it completely different. Let's line it up here. Let's cut it here. Let's cut it here. And since this was a packaging, it has obviously 2 layers. Let's bring this over the edge here. Let's then run to the sewing machine and just sew this on. And let's then just be happy when we come back from the sewing machine, because now we have a pocket here and a pocket here. Okay, so that means obviously that we can put something in here. Probably not this tag. Yeah, well, if I had a ribbon on here where I could pull it out, then it would be, yeah, well, it's not such a problem. It's okay. But I wouldn't choose something which is smaller than this, because I like to have easy access to the things which are in my pockets. But you could also think about something even bigger, which first covers this up. You could take even more, like bigger tags, like so. And when you then take them out, you have this surprise that there's something else underneath. The same here. Yeah, so that's it. Also, a journaling card would obviously work. You could even, oh, we could even think, oh, this would fit. We could even think about putting this completely in here. You know, you could even glue this down in here and then have that as a background for the pocket. And, you know, then the pocket would be like this. That would also be a possibility. So that's it for today, and I'm really hoping that you could find some inspiration in this, and perhaps you want to try something like this as well. If you're searching for this paper collection, check out the description box. There are the links to the Raggedy Turtle Bloom papers in my shop, and obviously also the soundtrack, which is included in the paper collection. So if you're interested in the music, then please know that you will get that with the paper collection. It's included in the junk journal pages of this collection, in the ephemera pack, and also in the kit. So no matter what you buy, you will always get the soundtrack additionally to your papers. See you the next time, and have a very great and creative day. Bye!